Bhakti Dhira Damodar Swami Maharaj. The fear in a devotee is due to faithlessness in Krishna. Fear in a devotee means we don't trust Krishna. It means we do not have knowledge about who Krishna is. I will repeat. The fear in a devotee is due to faithlessness in Krishna. Fear in a devotee means we don't trust Krishna. It means we do not have knowledge about who Krishna is. So thank you once again. I'm really sorry for stopping the wonderful chanting. I'm going to hand over the call to Prema Nandini Mataji for uh,
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please go ahead and take over, Mataji.
Yes, yes. Today, Her Grace Prabhupada Mataji will not be available because
Sorry for stopping the wonderful chanting. I'm going to hand over the call to Prema Nandini Mataji. So Mataji, he's reciting the Chaurastakam.
yes, Mataji.
Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu is pulling out the.
Please go ahead and take over, Mataji.
Yes, yes. Today, Her Grace Prabhupada Mataji will not be available because
Sorry for stopping the wonderful chanting. I'm going to hand over the call to Prema Nandini Mataji. I think Mataji, you have your YouTube also on. So it's echoing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
echoing. I don't know what.
Mataji.
Yes, yes. Her Grace Prabhupada Mataji will not be available.
Sorry for stopping the wonderful chanting. I'm going to hand over the call to Prema Nandini Mataji. I think Mataji, you have your YouTube also on. So it's echoing.
My YouTube is not on Mataji.
Yes.
I don't know what's happening. Okay, I will log out and I will log. Now it's okay.
So Mataji, I didn't hear you. Who's doing the Chaurastakam?
I am doing Mataji.
Okay. So
But I am going
Mataji,
to log off and I will log in again. Yeah.
if you can't share on the screen, then I'm sure you can also share on the group and you can read,
Yeah.
you know.
I share on the group and here also I share on the Zoom call on the chat
हाँ
box.
बस उसी से
Everybody can.
सब लोग उसी से देख लेंगे ना माताजी उसी से देख लेंगे.
Yes, yes.
You don't have to come on the Zoom with the link and then you can start. Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. I'm doing Mataji. Okay. I'm going to log off and I'll log in again. Okay.
Sure, Mataji. Can't share on the screen, then I'm sure you can also share on the group and you can read.
Yeah.
You know.
I share on the group and here also I share on the Zoom call on the chat
हाँ
box.
बस उसी से सब लोग उसी से देख लेंगे ना माताजी उसी से देख लेंगे.
Yes, yes.
You don't have to come on the Zoom with the link and then you can start. Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. It's again happening, Mataji.
Sure, Mataji. Can't share on the screen, then I'm sure you can also share on the group and you can read.
Yeah.
You know.
I share on the group and here also I share on the Zoom call on the chat
हाँ
box.
बस उसी से सब लोग उसी से देख लेंगे ना माताजी उसी से देख लेंगे.
Yes, yes.
You don't have to come on the Zoom with the link and then you can start. Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. It's again happening, Mataji.
Sure, Mataji. Can't share on the screen, then I'm sure you can also share on the group and you can read. I think Mataji is going to rejoin back. There was some echoing and normally when we have on the other phone YouTube on, so then YouTube and Zoom, they don't go together well. And there is some echoing like that.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's better, Mataji. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, yes.
I don't know what happened. So yes, I will open here. I share in the chat box also. And, just a minute. So everybody please open on your phone and we'll chant Chaurastakam. Brajevasitham Navanitachoram Gopangananam Chadukulachoram
व्रजे प्रसिद्धं
नवनीतचोरं
नवनीतचोरम्
अनेकजन्मार्जितपापचोरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि
अनेकजन्मार्जितपापचोरं चौराग्रहण्यं पुरुषं नमामि।
श्रीराधिकाया हृदयासचौरम् नवाम्बुदश्यामलकान्तिस्वरम्
श्रीराधिकाय
हृदयस्य चोरम् नवाबुधा श्यामलाकान्तिचोरम्
चौरम्
पदाश्रितानां च समस्तचौरं चौराग्रगण्यं नमामि
श्रितानां च समस्तचोरम् चोरागणम्
चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि।
किञ्चनीकृत्य पदाश्रितं यः करोति भिक्षुं पथिगेहहीनम्
कृत्य पादाश्रितं ये करोति भिक्षं पतिगेन हीनम्।
केनाप्यहो भीषणचोरयित्र दृष्टः श्रुत्वा न जगत्पत्र्येऽपि
केनापि अहो भीष्णचोरः
दृष्टा श्रुतो वा न
जगत्यपि
जगत्
दीयनामापि हरत्यशेषम् गिरिप्रसारान् अपि पापराशिन्
यदीयमापि
यदीयमापि
यतेयसे
हरत्यशेषं
गिरिप्रसारम्
प्रसारन्
गिरिप्रसारानपि
अपि
पापराशिन्
पापराशिन्
आश्चर्यरूपो ननु चोरयित्र दृष्टः श्रुतो वा न मा यापयापि
आश्चर्यरूपो
आश्रयरूपो
चोरयित्रा
दृष्टः
दृष्टा श्रुतो
माया
मम
कदापि
कदापि
धनं च मानं च तथेन्द्रियाणि प्राणाशरुत्वा मम सर्वम् एव
धनं
धनं च
मानं च
तदेन्द्रियाणि
तदेन्द्रियाणि
प्राणांश च
हृत्वा
हृत्वा
मम
मम
सर्वमेव
सर्वमेव
पलायसे कुत्र दूतोऽद्यचोर त्वं भक्तितां नासि मया निरुद्धः
फले
नास्य कुतो
धृतजाय चोरा त्वं
त्वं भक्तिर्नासि माया निरुद्धम्
हीनाघोरयमपाशबन्धम् हीनस्य भीमं भवपाशबन्धम्
हीनाक्षि घोरं यमपासबन्धं
यमपासुबन्धं
हीनाक्षि
हीनास्ति
भीमं
भीमं
भवपाशबन्धं
भवपासुबन्धं
हीनस्य सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धं
हीना
नासि सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धम्
हीनाक्षि
सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धं
समस्तबन्धं नैवात्मनो बन्धं
बन्धम्
मन्मानसे तामस राशिघोरे कारागृहे दुःखमये निबद्धः
मन्मानसे
मन्मानसि
तामसारासि घोरे
घोरे
कारागृहे दुःखमये
दुःखमयि
निबद्ध
निबद्धः
लभस्व हे चौर हरे चिराय स्वचौरदोषो हितमेव दण्डम्
स्वस्य
लभस्वहे
हरे
चिराय
चिराय स्वचोषितम् एव
स्वचोरदोषितमेव
दन्दम्
कारागृहे वसे सदा हृदये मदीये मद्भक्तिपाश दृढबन्धनिश्चलः सना
कारागृहे वस
सदा
सदहृदये
हृदय मदीये मद्भक्तिपाशद्रदबन्धन निश्चलासम्
कोटिशतान्तरेऽपि स्वचौरहृदयान् विमोचयामि
त्वं
त्वं कृष्ण हे प्रलय कोटे शतान्तरे
सर्वस्य
तव
चौरा
स्वचौरा हृदयं
हृदयो
नहि
न
मोचयामि
मोचयामि
ठाकुर Virachitam Saurashtakam Sampurnam Saragrada Purushashtakam. Hare Krishna.
Hare
I offer, I offer my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves, who's famous in Vraja as a butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steal the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes.
I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves, who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark luster of her fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. Hare.
He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggars. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the three worlds. Hare Krishna.
Mere utterance of his name purges one of a mountain of sins, such as astonishingly wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere.
O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion.
You can cut the terrible noose of Yamaraja. You sever the dreadful noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage. But you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. Anybody who would like to volunteer, please go ahead.
I can go. O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance. And there, for a very long time, you will remain receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery. Hare Krishna.
O Krishna, thief of my everything, the noose of my devotion remain forever tight. You will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you for million of eons.
Thank you. Govardharam Vande
Govardhanam dharam vande,
Gopalam Goparupinam
Gopalam goparupinam,
Gopalam
Gokulotsavam Ishanam
Gokulam
Gokulavatsam
Ishanam
Ishanam,
Govindam Gopika Priyam.
Govindam Gopika Priyam.
I offer my respectful obeisances to the lifter of Govardhan Hill, Lord Gopala, who has the beautiful form of a cowherd boy. He is the grand festival of Gokula, the supreme controller, Govinda, and the beloved of the cowherd damsels of Vraja. Hare Krishna.
Vande Navaganam Shamam
Vande Namansha
Navakanashanam,
Vibhutam Muralidharam
Vibhujam
Dvibhujam
Muralidharam
Muralidharam
Pitambaradhara Devam
Pitam
Tambaram Devam,
Sharanagata Purushottamam.
Sharanagata Purushottamam.
Purushottamam.
Purushottam.
I offer my obeisances to Navaganasham, Krishna, who has the color of a fresh rain cloud, who is holding the flute with his two hands. I worship Purushottama, who is so beautiful in his yellow dress, Pitambara. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, everybody, for participating. And we can welcome Aarti Sardesai Mataji after a long time. So let us welcome her again. So welcome again, Aarti Mataji. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
yeah, I don't see Prabhuji join yet. So we can do direction until then, or we can stop.
Thank you, Mataji. Beautiful reciting. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I just followed. Srimad Mataji's So we'll be joining in a minute. Until then, we can chant. And so today we have a Rath Yatra at Baltimore Temple, not temple, it's in Inner Harbor. So devotees, please join if you can. It's 12 to um, 2 p.m. So yeah, some of devotees we are going like Madhukar Prabhu, Gita Mataji, Surendra Prabhu. We all are going. Arti Sardai Sai. Mataji, you are close to Baltimore Inner Harbor, so please, if you can join, please come. And we'll see you there. Yeah, but a nice festival. We drove the pull the cart, Rath Yatra, and there will be a food festival. A nice festival. So our speaker has joined. So thank you. Hare Krishna Nil Govinda Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. And we are so fortunate to have His Grace Nil Govinda Prabhu from Hyderabad, India. Prabhuji will take over now. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Gita, chapter number 2, text number 23. Nainam Chintanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Pavakah, Nachainam Kledayam Nasosheti Varutaha. Translation Prophet given the Jdu appreciation of from Srila Prabhupada. The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor be burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Purport. All kinds of weapons, swords, flames, rain weapons, tornado weapons, etc., are unable to kill the spirit soul. It appears that there were many kinds of weapons made of earth, water, air, ether, etc., in addition to the modern weapons of fire. Even the nuclear weapons of the modern age are classified as fire weapons. But formerly there were other weapons made of all different types of material and use. Fire weapons were counteracted by water weapons, which are now unknown to modern science. Nor do modern scientists have knowledge of tornado weapons. Nonetheless, the soul can never be cut into pieces, nor annihilated by any number of weapons, regardless of scientific belief. The Mayavadi cannot explain how the individual soul came into existence. Simply by ignorance and consequently became covered by the illusory energy. Nor was it ever possible to cut the individual souls from the original supreme soul. Rather, the individual souls are eternally separated parts of the supreme soul. Because they are atomic individual souls eternally, Sanatana, they are prone to be covered by the illusory energy. Because they became separated from the association of the supreme law. Just as the sparks of a fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished out of fire. The Varapura and the living entities are described as separated parts and parcels of the supreme. They are eternally so, according to Bhagavad Gita also. So even after being liberated from the illusion, the living entity remains a separated identity. It is evident from the teachings of Lord to Arjuna. Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge from Krishna, but he never became one. Soma Jnanati Virandasya Jnananjana Takshurun Nitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Tapitam Nena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamane Tadati Sopadanti Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Nipa Sindhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Dehi. Mukam Karoti Vacham Pandam Valdai Puja. Nitkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Guru Ram. Hare Krishna. Thank you all devotees. Thank you all for joining the discussion today. Bhakti.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Amma, can you hear me?
Prabhuji, the voice is coming from very far. I'm not able to. I'm not able to
Okay, how
hear.
about
Your voice is not clear today.
better? Okay, is it
Clear,
much
but
better?
it's very low, Prabhuji. It's very low.
Yeah, no, it's not
Okay,
getting better. It used to be very clear earlier. Huh?
One second. So let me try to reconnect.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Is it unclear for me only or everyone?
Yeah, I also cannot hear clearly. I can hear
Yeah,
clearly, but it's very low voice.
थोड़ा baffling वो भी हो रहा है आवाज में.
Yeah, it was very low also.
Prabhuji's voice comes very clearly normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Little
now it's
better.
still better. Yeah.
Little better.
Better? Okay, perfect.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you for telling that right away. Very helpful.
Yes.
Okay, so dear devotees, you should understand.
It's audible now. Yeah.
Audible? Yes. Thank you. Prabhu. Okay, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Pavakaha, Chainam Kledayantapi, Asociati Marutaha, Sociati Marutaha. Dear devotees, Srila Prabhupada, for mercifully explaining beautiful aspects to this particular purport, which we have to absorb so much into our consciousness. That the first thing we need to understand, we need to come out fully from this impersonalistic mentality. I'm not talking about the impersonalism, which is Shankaracharya's impersonalism. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the impersonalism mentality. Mentality is a consciousness which is actually sitting in everyone's heart. One time Srila Prabhupada was being asked, Swamiji, you write so much about impersonalism. A devotee was being asked to Srila Prabhupada. And then Srila Prabhupada replied, he was asking Swamiji, you are writing so much about Mayavadi, impersonalism. But there are no Mayavadis in our movement. There are no Mayavadis. They're all devotees. So Prabhupada immediately stopped there. And Prabhupada said, you are the biggest Mayavadi. The devotee couldn't understand. Prabhupada said the Mayavadi mentality is there in our consciousness that has to be removed completely. Because you never do for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. So anything which you are doing which is not for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, that is actually the process leading to impersonalism. That means if a person is not satisfied, if a person is not pleased through that action, let's say we have instructing spiritual masters, we have initiating spiritual masters. So these higher authorities and Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder authority for our organization, because his teachings are what we discuss. Not now. Whoever is coming to ISKCON for the next 10,000 years, they'll be discussing his teachings. That means whatever he has nailed down, whatever he has given, whatever Krishna consciousness he has given through the mercy of his spiritual master, those teachings, those discussions will be discussing. So what is that? That means his heart. That means whatever he's perceiving through that particular sloka, through the purport, through those lines. Because whatever Srila Prabhupada is writing is exactly what Krishna wanted him to write. Because who is he? He is an authorized acharya, the disciplic successor. So that means when he says something, we should actually follow the Nazis. We should strive to follow. If we cannot do that, we should at least understand I'm not there. And we should make a tangible effort to come to that state. Now, this process of really churning one's consciousness and then to really perceive the absolute truth and then trying to do it for the pleasure of those personalities is called as personalism. This is free from impersonalism. Please understand. What is this? This is called as personalism. Personalism means you are doing it for him. For example, you are chanting Hare Krishna, or you are doing a service, or you are doing distribution, or you are trying to bring new devotees to the mission, or you are trying to add them to this call, or you are trying to uh, call or invite the speaker onto the call. You might be doing so many services, or you might be doing services at the temple. You might be doing services associated to the temple. Might be doing any of these things, but everything which you are doing should be done for a reason. That means we should simply do it for the pleasure of our spiritual master actually. If we don't do like this, then it is impossible. This is what Prabhupada said. Why? Because why this is so important is we generally tend to do all of these things for some motive. That means now you can say pleasing Guru and Krishna is also a motive. Oh, who said it is a motive? You do it out of relation. Let's say a child is there, a father is there. Father is giving, father would invest so much upon the child. Child is reciprocating. Is that reciprocation from the child is tinged with any motive? No. The child is reciprocating because father has done so much to him. That means as a token of appreciation, he is doing it. In that doing, there is no expectation. In that doing, there is no karmakandic activity. In that doing, there is no jnana. In that doing, there is no karma. In that doing, there is no dhyana. None of these things are there. The child has received the service from the parent. He's feeling so much indebted. Now he wants to give it. Is that having any expectation? No, it is not having an expectation, but out of love to that particular person, father or mother, the son is responding, reciprocating. Just like when Srila Prabhupada was here, all of his disciples, they understood that Srila Prabhupada is our life and soul. They understood that he is my everything. They realized that. And after that realization, what they did? They left their jobs. huh? They gave up everything. They started serving him selflessly. And Prabhupada did not say, you quit, you do this, you do this. But out of their devotion to him, Prabhupada generally told them, it is good, you should come and then you should stay, you should do this service. He generally tells. But they took it as a life and soul. Why they took it as a life and soul? Because those personalities are actually feeling that. They're actually understanding, yes, he's my well-wisher. He is doing everything. He is doing all of these services selflessly. Now, if that person is so much selfless, let me try to be selfless to please that person. And the moment of responding to that Vaishnav, to that pure soul, in that way, is called as personalism. Purpose says here that the impersonalistic mentality has to be curbed out. Now, what is this impersonalistic mentality? Impersonalistic mentality is doing for one's own self. Is an impersonalistic mentality. That means I want to have peace. I want to have this. I want to have that. I want to go to this. I want to go to that place. I want to go to this place. That means, on the name of spirituality, practicing it, and then trying to gain something out of that is not pure devotion, and that is not personalism. If you exactly see the life of Arjuna also, it is described in chapter 1 also. Arjuna, if you actually closely observe, he was actually in a dire condition, very difficult, lamenting, very perplexed. His hands are shaking, sweat is coming, his feet are also shaking. He couldn't lift his Gandiva. In that situation, he says, Krishna, you are my whole proprietor. You are my shelter, you are my everything. Now I am going to surrender to you. You tell me what is good to me. Now after that surrender only, Krishna started speaking with him. Please understand. Up until that point of time, Krishna did not speak a word. That means what is happening? Arjuna is actually asking Krishna for help. Now, the moment Krishna gave that help, Arjuna immediately began fighting the war for the pleasure of Krishna. That means what did he do? He did pure devotion. Externally, for everyone else outside in this world, it seems to be like Arjuna is fighting. No doubt. Through the vision, Arjuna is fighting only. But what is that? That is not just fighting. That is actually pure devotion. Because Arjuna is actually doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. That means what is the heart? What is the intention behind that act? Why is he doing that? If one can understand the gist behind that, then that person also wants to do exactly what Arjuna is doing. This is what personalism is. That means doing it for the pleasure of other person. Through this, what happens, dear devotees? Submission comes actually. Because we have to submit. Bhakti means submission only. Bhakti means to submit. Bhakti means to submit to those higher authorities, acharyas. So this is called as devotion. That's what Prabhupada says that the impersonalistic tendency should be avoided. Impersonalistic tendency means not giving importance to the person. Like I got initiated, okay, my initiated spiritual master is somewhere else. I'm somewhere else. I'm no connection. Why no connection? Because we don't hear from those personalities. When we don't hear from those personalities, or when we don't hear from the true followers of Srila Prabhupada, so what is happening is the personalism is vanished from the heart. That means slowly the heart will become dry. The heart will not experience the Krishna consciousness. It will not taste. That means we don't get desire to chant our rounds. That means we don't get desire. We get desire to watch some movies. We get desires to watch some Netflix, this, that, YouTube videos. We get that desire. Why? Because personalism is not there. Impersonalistic tendency came. That means we are actually far away from that person. Just please understand the devotee. Only a person has to give us bhakti. So Prabhupada says that propensity, that impersonalistic propensity has to be controlled. That means personalism will give bhakti means person will give bhakti means you should find that person. You should hear from him continuously. So when we do that, what happens is what is slowly but steadily your consciousness is improved. When the consciousness is improved, you will actually work that, oh really? Am I soul? These questions will come. Because this is the advantage of personalism. Through personalism, what happens is you develop unlimited, unflinching faith towards those personalities. Popa and his beautiful followers, wonderful followers. You develop unflinching faith towards those personalities. So through that, what is happening in devotees? You will ask this question. Internally, you'll get this question. Hey, everyone is telling not this body, what a powerful spirit. So then why am I seeing the mirror all day? Why am I seeing this so-called dead body? Because the moment the soul is removed from this body, there's no existence of this body. Nobody will keep this dead body at the home. So that means technically I'm a walking dead body. This body has no value. The body currently it has value because the soul is present in this. These kind of processes. Then when we give importance to the person, when we feel that the personalism is a very prominent aspect in our Krishna consciousness, they are devotees. If this personalism factor is removed, then everything will be very dry experience. Because we don't see the presence of acharyas in whatever we are doing, wherever we are serving. Why? Because our consciousness is different. Because impersonalistic tendency, in that impersonalistic tendency, it is Jiva who is actually project. Because the jiva is desire. No, no, no. I should chant my rounds because I have to go to the spiritual world. By the mercy of the acharyas, if they want, they will take us to the spiritual world. By the mercy of Krishna, if they want, they will take us to the spiritual world. No, I don't just chant to go to the spiritual world. Please understand. See the motive behind. I'm not saying that having a desire to go to the spiritual world is wrong. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that tendency. Tendency of what? Tendency of keeping that person aside and just taking the knowledge which that person is actually sharing. That means keeping Srila Prabhupada aside, just taking that wisdom that Prabhupada said, yes, if I chant Hare Krishna, I'll go to the spiritual world. That means what are we doing? What kind of qualities, like what kind of desire or what kind of respect are we giving to those personalities? Because that is what matters. Because personalism, impersonalism, that is what the difference is. In Haribhakta Vilas, it is been said that when a pure devotee comes, then his life, his activities, to see him, to touch his body, to hear his discourse, uh, to take the dust of his lotus, those are all very, 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 very auspicious. And this auspicious and this kind of person is actually very rare in this creation. Rare only. Vaishnavas are rare. That means Vaishnavas are in that category are very Mahabhagavad devotees are very rare here. We don't say Mahabhagavad devotees everywhere. Mahabhagavad devotees are in the differentiate because everyone else, other than those Mahabhagavad devotees, everyone else is far prone to this material nature. That means these are Mahabhagavad devotees not prone to material nature. Material nature will not touch them because they are completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Daivi Heshu Guna Mama Maya. That means when we actually follow those Mahabhagavad devotees, what happens is the mercy from them will come. And then through their mercy, one will go to the spiritual world. Not like I chant my rounds to go to the spiritual world. We chant our rounds, but all the material desires are there. How will we go to the spiritual world if I have all the material desires? If I want this money, this property, that property, checking this, checking that, trying to get a better job, more salary. If I'm looking from this perspective, then what is happening here? What is? And through this perspective, when I continue to chant, having that desire to go to the spiritual world, how are all these connected? Are they all connected? They're all at different stages, different states. That means I have something, but I'm desiring something else. That means what is this? This is called as impersonalistic tendency. That means when we actually see the person behind everything, what happens is, dear devotees, we actually would know that Prabhupada never said this. Why am I doing this? Prabhupada said only have certain things which is required to maintain your existence. Don't have too much. If you have something, you give it in the service of the Lord. If you have something, you should give it actually in the service of Krishna. But should only use what is required. Because anyhow, once this body is done, then everything, all the property which we have, it will be insane, it will go into insane. This body inside, everything will be vanquished. But the soul, powerful spirit soul, the consciousness is not cultivated, the soul will also lament after this body is gone. Because the soul is thinking, oh, when will I go again into this body? This is my body. The soul is thinking, this is my body. Another interesting aspect they do, which I think sometimes about this. What is that aspect is? A lot of people, they have too much attachment to their hair. What is that? Too much attachment to their hair. I see devotees also putting hair dye. Or those devotees they are in the big leadership position also. They also put hair dyes. That means if the sadhaka who is actually doing that, who is actually aspiring to practice Krishna consciousness, who actually teach Krishna consciousness also. If a person who comes and sees that person and then that person is actually speaking on the stone, then what kind of example is setting to the person who is hearing? What kind of example is it? I always think about this. Because you speak about soul, I'm not talking about everyone. They're exalted Vaishnava acharyas. We take a lot of inspiration from them. We give life for them. Not talking about those personalities who speak, but they don't follow. So, so what is that speaking helping? Is that speaking helping him? Is that he is speaking helping him, or the person who is actually hearing from him? Nobody will get inspiration because nobody's heart will actually hanker. "Arey, is this really true?" Because the person who is actually doing it is putting here that he says, "Oh, you are not this body, but a powerful spirit." So, part and parcel of Krishna. I'll tell another aspect. When this body is when the soul has left this body, because the shloka is very close, very pertaining to this. Nainam chindani, chindanti shastrani. Soul cannot be cut into pieces, nor be burnt. No, that is the nature of the soul. But when the soul leaves this body and then the body is being burned, the first thing which burns is the hair. First thing, just within 1-2 seconds only, the hair is completely gone. So only through the process of burning, so the other parts of the body will be burned. But the other parts will take time. But the hair, within a moment, everything is gone. But for that hair in this world, we have so much attachment. Since my childhood, I'm saying people even cry, people even quarrel for that hair. Or people don't get married because that person doesn't have hair. So this is a problem. That is bodily consciousness. From where is this bodily consciousness coming? Not giving importance to the person, not knowing who Srila Prabhupada is, not knowing who his representatives are, not knowing what is their position in our life. All this do matter. Because if a person really wants to understand what this Krishna consciousness movement is, he should try, not try, he should strive to begin giving respect to those personalities and then strive to follow their words. This is the entrance to personalism. Through this entrance to personalism, what happens is, dear devotees, your process of taking Krishna consciousness will be very fast because you have to experience. Dear devotees, I'll tell her, this is all practical. You have to experience this process. You have to experience. But you're not this body, you're a powerful spirit. So you have to realize that. For this, we have to have this mercy. We have to go to the Lord. We have to go to Srila Prabhupada. We have to go to our spiritual masters to beg for their mercy. You should rather Vrindavan Chandra, you should go and then beg for their mercy. Oh, my dear Lord, you told in Gita that I'm not this body, but a powerful spiritual. You told in Gita that I'm part and parcel of you. Mamevamsha Jiva Loke. But I don't realize that. Please give mercy so that I can realize that. Because it is only through your mercy I can understand all of these things. What is this called as? This is called as personalism. Not that I say something and then do something else in the background. That is cheating. See, I always think about this. Talking to myself also. If we are cheating to ourselves, dear devotees, whom are we cheating? For example, we hear something but we don't apply, but we don't want to apply, we don't have a desire to apply. We hear that we are not this very powerful spiritual, but we don't want to work on that plane. I'm the servant of my spiritual master. We don't want to work on this plane. Then who am I cheating? Because it's a very clear indication. I'm not cheating anyone else. Actually, I'm cheating my own self. The Atma is actually sitting in our body. That is actually we are, not this gross body. If we are this gross body wouldn't have changed in the last 100 years or in the last 60 years. This gross body is grass. It will change continuously. Prabhupada says, right? The body would come into existence, would grow, provide some offspring, maintain this body, dwindle, and eventually leave. Six kinds of things will happen to every body in this world. No one is an exception. But who is constant here? The soul. Because how do I perceive that I'm the soul? Because we are devotees. Please understand. Your consciousness is different. The other devotee's consciousness is different. That person's consciousness is different towards some other person's consciousness. That means, but the body seems to be same. One person might have a male body, one person might have a female body. Everyone seems to be same. They have two eyes. This person also has two eyes, one nose, 2 ears, 2 ears. Similar body. This person also has hair. This person also has hair. But the consciousness is changed. How is this change consciousness coming? If you are just this damn body, that means if you don't have this existence after this body, that means the consciousness should also be same. But why the consciousness is different? That itself is a clear indication that we are there in the past also. Because my association in the past is different compared to the other person's association. His association is different to my association. My association different to somebody else's association. Based on that association is developing a consciousness. Through that consciousness is taking one life after the other, one life after the other. That's why is actually making this evolution. That's why it's different. That's why his state of consciousness is different. That's the purpose is. One should actually develop the consciousness which Arjuna cultivated, which is real Krishna consciousness. What is that? Giving importance to the person. Arjuna just did that. He gave importance to Krishna. So likewise, we should give importance to Krishna and his representative for us. Because in Arjuna's case, Krishna and his representative both are same. Because Krishna and the spiritual master both are one person for Arjuna. But for us, they are two different personalities. So those things we have to address. When we try to address those things, you know what is? That is exactly called as personalism. It is not impersonalism. Please understand. Please understand. Don't you? I'll tell another aspect. When somebody is close to your heart, don't you remember that person? Let's say a girl is always close to her father. Goal. The girl always wants to stay with her father. She's very close to her father. She remembers after marriage also she remembers her father. So the relationship is like that, right? That means she continuously remembers her. Why? Because she has a connection with that person. Likewise, the devotees, we have a relationship with Krishna. The relationship which I mentioned before is for this body, this life. But the relationship with Krishna is a continuous thing. Because the Atma which is there, the Atma will be satisfied only when it hears about Krishna and his pastimes and his activities. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattvataha. Tattva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sarso Arjuna. So Krishna is telling my pastimes, my activities, my leelas, everything is transcendental. You just by hearing, you will not come back again into this material world. This kind of assurance Krishna is giving. That means when we hear, we should hear with that rapt attention that yes, this person is actually talking about my father. This is wonderful. Let me hear with more rapt attention. That means I have a relationship with him, not to an eternal relationship with him. Yes, I should hear these things very nicely. So these kind of things we should work on. More personalism has to brought in toward consciousness. Not this body, dear devotees. We should not be fooled up by seeing this bodily beauties, by seeing this bodily comforts, by seeing all of these things. They will vanish pretty soon. That's what Krishna is telling. The body will deteriorate, but this soul, this is continuous. It will exist continuously. The moment we come out of this impersonalistic tendency and then begin giving more importance to the person, this is where we will realize the potential. the Lord, the presence of the soul which is in the heart. In the previous shloka also we discussed where Gopal is mentioning to realize the presence of the soul within the heart, one should come out of these two things. One should be completely free from material desires. Two, we should not lament for unnecessary things in this world. That means na sochati na kanshati. That means no material desires, free from lamentation. When one does that and then continues the process of Krishna consciousness under the association of a bona fide spiritual master, then by their mercy, one will actually realize the presence of the soul which is there in the heart. The moment we realize that, that marks the self-realization. That means you have realized the self, because you are actually working on the plane. This is called as bhakti. Not that I hear this, I put so much makeup to this so-called body, dead body, and then try to show up myself very nicely externally. And not that I'm not saying that we should not take bath. It should be simple. It's like Brijvasis, how they are very simple. We're not imitating them. Not to follow in their footsteps. It is very simple. This one should cultivate. Hare Krishna. I think I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful class. I really like the point you mentioned, that you were saying that, when the body is burned, people are so much concerned about the hair. That is the first thing burnt, catches the
Hmm.
fire, and we are like trying to decorate this body, just like, and not concerned about other things which are more, personally connected to the soul. So, and very nice view about personalism and impersonalism. Normally, I would think that this person is impersonal and that person is personal. My mind is judging. But today you give a perspective that we ourselves could become impersonal if we are. Give example of Arjuna. That was really nice. Yeah, thank you so much. Your Bhagavad Gita classes are very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for putting us on track of Krishna consciousness and on personalism, which is very important. Yeah, I don't have a
Hare
specific
Krishna.
question, but I really enjoyed the class. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Personalism is very important. Because that is a life. That is our life. That is our juice to Krishna consciousness. That is our everything. When we remember the glories of the Acharyas, when we remember their sacrifices, when we begin doing Acharya Pasha, then all these things, all these realizations will come naturally because they will give us that mercy. But we should exactly do our best, not imitate in any way. It should be very simple and straightforward. When we strive to do that, we become free from this material desires and not lamenting too much for what things are gone from our life. So our karmic reactions, something like that. We should understand. Papa says, when these two things are done, and when he continues to take the process of Krishna consciousness under right association, Tishupa, under right association, then through their mercy, through the mercy purposes, the mercy of Krishna or his bona fide representative, one can avail the process of understanding the sense. Correct. Anyone else? One second. Correct. Anyone else?
Also, Prabhuji, like sometimes, we see, especially when you visit hospitals, no, and the case is very serious, like the person is in a situation where, family members are very
Uh-huh.
perplexed. So the
Mhm.
family members are so attached to the body of that person, They don't want to let go. They want to put all kinds of life support, food,
Exactly.
water, you know, and
Exactly.
just, I mean, for them, body is everything.
Exactly.
And like you said in the class, the moment the soul leaves, that person, nobody wants to even be close to that body because it starts smelling after 1 or 2 days or whatever, right?
Yeah. Nobody can keep
So
it for 1 day.
yeah, this kind of knowledge, I mean, we wouldn't have also got it unless we read Srila Prabhupada's books, like, because it's like I mean, and however much you explain to these people, it doesn't they are so much in the bodily concept. It's almost like, I think Prabhupada would say that they're like four-legged, two-legged animals, who don't want to chant, who don't want to read. So they're so much into, because I have a case in the family like that, and every call from the doctor becomes like a point where they are good news, bad news, good news, bad news. That's what is going on. So very, very lot of attachments, lot of anxieties are there. When I see so many family, they're not Krishna conscious, but so it's sometimes it's very hard to understand how they live in that body and that situation. Of course, we would have also been like that if we had not joined Srila Prabhupada's family movement. So the bodily concept is very, very strong in our society, in our people in general. I just want to mention that, Prabhuji.
Definitely, definitely. Those things we need to be careful. So when we see that kind of thing, so when we see that kind of thing, it's a very clear indication how much we are protected, how much we are saved. So we should have compassion towards it. There's a possibility that should be helped. From our side, we should strive to become free from all of the positive and make sure that we have the opportunity. This is the normal thing which happens. And if you actually see time will take up everyone.
Prabhuji, little
Everyone
bit
comes.
voice is going again. Uh, it was earlier nice, but then again,
Yeah, yes,
But
Prabhuji.
the
we're not able to
strategy is
hear
what
what you spoke, Prabhuji.
you can hear now.
Yeah, now it's better.
Hare
It seems it's coming from a tunnel, the noise, but now it's clear. Yeah. Prabhuji, can you please repeat what you were saying in a gist?
Prabhuji got muted.
Krishna, you can hear me okay, right?
Little
Yeah, it's a little better. Yeah.
So I have my young daughter here. She's taking my earphones from my ear. So I'm trying to pacify her. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second.
No, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So my daughter. Okay, so so Amma, what I was trying to say was two things. This entire world is designed like that. And somehow we got this parts of Krishna consciousness to us where we have been given an opportunity to correct ourselves to become free from this bodily consciousness. And when an
Yes.
opportunity comes, arrives, and whoever is little inquisitive, we should help those Krishna. When you begin doing it, Papa will be very happy. First thing is we should be free from that. Second thing is we should help the other person.
Thank you,
Very much.
Prabhuji.
If I spoke anything wrong, caused any inconvenience, please excuse me. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada Jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Vancha kalpatrubhascha kripa sindhu evacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananda Koti Vaishnav ki jai, Shubhrapat ki jai,
Jai.
Jai.
Nila Govinda Das Prabhu ki jai.
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 Govinda Prabhu
Thank you so
ki
much,
jai.
Prabhu, for your
Jai
invitation.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Thank you
Prabhuji.
for
Prabhuji.
Harinam Sangha ki
Hare
Hare
jai.
Bol.
Krishna.
Jai.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Bol.
Purushottam
Hari
Mas ki
Bol.
jai.
Hare
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol.